Welcome to day 5, the final day of our Healthy Knees Challenge. You've gotten all kinds of information on your knee pain. Now it's up to you to take action on your rehab and healing process. So today we're going to cover active versus passive treatments. This is something that's super important to me because I feel like as a population, we typically lean towards the passive approaches, and I want to shift your mindset so that you're thinking more actively and what can you do to control your situation, and see improvement. Because at the end of the day, my job is to give you all the information and set you up in a position that where you can take action when you can start to see improvement rather than waiting around or relying on other people. So let's talk just a little bit about what passive treatments are, and then we'll talk about what active treatments are. So, passive treatments, think about rest, ice, compression, getting a massage, taking pills, using injections, using creams. All these things you are allowing an external source to do something for you or waiting around hoping things improve. And this is not a good strategy when it comes to addressing your knee pain, because you're essentially leaving things up to, again, an external source rather than seeing, what can you do to improve your set of circumstances. On the other side, we have active treatments. So active treatments are things like exercise, mobility drills, things you are actively doing to stress your body, stress those muscles, stress those joints, to improve your current situation. The body responds incredibly well when you expose it to a little bit of stress initially, and then more and more stress over time to build up your strength, improve your mobility, all that good stuff. So it's very, very important that you are seeking out those active approaches, especially if you're trying to get back to a certain activity, that you're doing that activity in small levels, or you're finding ways to adjust, to continue to stay active during those times when you have pain. Because what I see oftentimes happens if people take more of a passive approach, they're waiting around for things to get better. And they're no longer doing the things they love. And in those cases where they are a little bit less active, they'll start to lose some of their strength. They'll start to lose some of their mobility. And when you start to, stop doing those activities, you're going to notice that the body stiffens up, and essentially, your life's going to become a little bit more painful, or you're going to experience more pain concentrated at those joints if you aren't moving them to utilize your strength and mobility in those areas. So always be thinking, always be asking yourself, what can I do to keep moving? What are ways that I can continue to maintain my strength, maintain my mobility? Because as long as you're taking an active approach and you're taking control of the situation, you're going to see improvement. It might take some time, but it's always going to be better than sitting around, experimenting with different creams, lotions, medications, injections, any of the above. So don't be looking for any kind of gimmicks to quickly improve your knee pain. Look at what you can do to create that lasting change through strength training, mobility work, all of the above. So that's really it for this challenge. I just want to say thanks so much for showing up and participating each day in the challenge. Hopefully, you got a little bit more education on what's going on with the knees as well as what you can be doing to address them. It's super important to note all causes of knee pain are treated a little bit differently, based on your individual deficits and or areas of weakness. So these might range from range of motion limitations, to weakness of specific muscles. It really just depends on a case by case basis. So if you want to explore your specific deficits, and come up with a more tailored plan to address them and get back to the things you love, feel free to book a call with me. We can do a free online assessment, just see where you're at currently and see what sorts of steps you can take, to start addressing your knee pain more specifically. Because I did give you a broad outline of things you can be doing to improve your knee health. But if you, again, want a little bit more specific plan, I'll put my calendar link at the end of this video, and feel free to book, and I'm more than happy to talk things through with you. So that concludes our challenge. Today's exercises, again, will be emailed to you. I'm going to include a full mobility warm-up that should be on the YouTube channel page a little bit later on. And then our strength exercise today is the modified side plank with abduction. So check those out. Let me know if you have any questions, either in the comments, or you can always reach out to me on Instagram as well. More than happy to see what I can do to help. So thanks again for showing up, and we will hopefully see you in the next challenge.